In order to be a strong nation, we have to have strong borders, and right now we don't have that. We haven't had that for 3.5 years. In fact, we're in the middle of the worst border crisis in American history. This is a crisis of President Biden's own making. Starting on his first day in office, he has intentionally and repeatedly undermined security at the southern border. During his first 100 days in office, President Biden took 94 executive actions to open the border. 3.5 years later, nearly 10 million illegal aliens have entered our country. Now those 10 million include an unknown number of dangerous individuals, hundreds on the terrorism watch list, countless transnational cartel members, drug smugglers, human traffickers. It's a laundry list of evil. And perhaps the worst consequences that we've seen over the past 3.5 years are the tragedies. The innocent men and women taken from their families by an illegal alien who should have never been here in the first place. So imagine being a mother or a father. You send your daughter off to college. You're beaming with pride, but you're also a little heartsick that they're going to be out there on their own. Then a few months later, you get the worst call in your life. And that's the reality for the family of Laken Riley. Or another situation. Let's imagine that your uncle is a sheriff's deputy. You couldn't be prouder of him. You know that he gets up, he goes to work every day to defend and protect his community. One day, you see his name on the news as a victim of a pack of illegal alien gang members who brutally murdered him while he was on duty. That's the reality for the family of Wake County, North Carolina Deputy Sheriff Ned Byrd. Now, I recognize that the debate around illegal immigration, it's full of passion and sometimes antagonism, but I believe we can all agree that if an illegal alien commits the crime of assaulting a police officer, he or she must be subject to immediate deportation. And, Mr. President, that's why I stand here today, to propose that the Senate pass the Police Act. It's a straightforward bill. The Police Act simply states that an illegal alien, can be deported for assaulting a police officer, firefighter, or other first responder. The bill, it's already passed the House, and it can be sent to the President's desk by passing it right now. Any senator who claims to support the police should have no problem supporting this bill. So, let's help remove dangerous individuals, Mr. President, before another tragedy strikes. Notwithstanding Rule 22, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate resume legislative session, the Committee on the Judiciary be discharged from further consideration of H.R. 2494, and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration.
Is there objection? Mr. President. Senator from Connecticut. Mr. President, reserving the right to object, this is an interesting bill to be offered for unanimous consent because it actually does nothing. It does nothing. Why? Because individuals are already subject to deportation for assault, whether they assault a police officer, whether they assault a milkman, whether they assault your family member. People who are convicted of serious assaults of law enforcement are already deportable. They already can face both state and federal criminal allegations. Under current law, if an individual is convicted of any crime of violence and sentenced to a year or more in prison, that's an aggravated felony. That person is deportable. Even more so, any crime of, quote, moral turpitude, where the crime is punishable by imprisonment of 1 or more year, is subject to deportation. Additionally, any non-citizens that are convicted of any aggravated felony, including misdemeanor offenses, are subject to deportation. This bill doesn't do anything. If you are here waiting for an asylum claim or on a green card and you assault a police officer, you are subject to deportation under existing law. So why are we considering taking this up under UC? Well, I think Senator Budd referenced it in his underlying remarks. It's part of an effort to try to make Americans believe that there is a specific dangerous threat posed to you by immigrants, that you should be afraid of immigrants, that there is a crime wave sweeping this country caused by people who are coming to this country to seek a better life. Listen, I spent 5 months negotiating a bipartisan border deal because I believe that we need to come together in a bipartisan way to bring greater order to the southwest border. So I won't take a backseat to anybody when it comes to making the tough decisions necessary to bring some border security to this country. But the senator offering this motion voted against that bipartisan bill. So did almost every other of his Republican colleagues. We had an opportunity to do something about bipartisan border security, and Republicans rejected it. Why? Because President Trump said, no, let's keep the border chaotic. Let's keep this an open political issue. Do nothing until the election. We had a chance to come together in a thoughtful way on a bipartisan border bill, and we did not. The facts are this. Whether you choose to want to believe the facts or not, that is not my decision. It is your decision. But immigrants commit crimes in this country at a rate lower than natural-born citizens. You may not believe that if you watch Fox News every night, but I hate to tell you, it is the truth. So if you want a safe town or a safe neighborhood, you're better off. You are statistically safer if you have immigrants, because they commit crimes of violence at a rate lower than people who are born in the United States. So I don't know why we're being asked to vote on this bill, because it doesn't do anything other than feed this idea, this false narrative that this country has something to fear from families that are coming to the United States fleeing either economic desperation or violence or terror or torture for a better life. And for that reason, I object.
Objection is heard.
Mr. President.
Senator from North Carolina.
It's such an honor to serve the people of North Carolina, all 100 counties, all different backgrounds. I don't profess to know what it's like in Connecticut, but I thank my colleague from there for his remarks. But it's disheartening to me to hear that a simple piece of legislation, the Police Act, which states that an illegal alien can be deported for assaulting a police officer, firefighter, or first responder as nothing. I don't profess to understand that. Perhaps it's different in Connecticut than North Carolina. I don't know, I don't want to put words in the mouth of the family of Laken Riley or the family of Deputy Sheriff Ned Byrd, but I don't believe it's nothing.